Earlier today at work, I had a improper thought that should not be entering into my head, and I realized it was wrong. And on the way back home, I was just asking God to free me from this thought. And lo and behold, after 2 hours, this thought is no longer. I was no longer attached to the thought. And this reminds me of the scripture that resist the devil, and he will flee from you. And just now I was listening to John Lennox, Brother John Lennox from Oxford, talking about AI and its relationship to God, and he was referring to one of the godfathers, I guess, of AI, who claims that who gave up creating consciousness a long time ago, and basically, the thought was that nobody can define what consciousness is. And that is true. Nobody can really define it using words. But I think consciousness is really life. And, or at least it's a big portion of consciousness is a manifestation of life. And how can we know anything has consciousness? And the way I think can be tested is that, does existence matter to this organism or to this thing? If it does, it has consciousness. If it doesn't, it does not have consciousness. So let's think about a rock or computer program. If you delete this computer program or just destroy this rock, does the rock or the computer program care or not? And I would argue, no matter how intricate, complex a computer program is, it doesn't care. But let's take the simplest life form, which is a cell. And I would argue that it doesn't matter how simple the cell is, it still strives to exist, to be alive. Yes, if you take out a cell and put it on the ground, it won't survive for too long without the proper nourishment and environment. But I would argue that no matter how short its existence, throughout its existence, it always clings onto life. And that's why I can say that the simplest cell of this world is conscious, and the most complex computer program in the world is not conscious. Based on that fact, the indifference or not of this object. And of course, I at least at this moment, I think what they call creating artificial consciousness or any consciousness is impossible. It's out of the question, because just like people cannot create life, they've been trying to engineer life for decades, but like Dr. John Tour says, it's the goalpost is getting further and further away. And the reason is that Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. What is life but God himself? To create life means to create God. So how impossible that task is. And the people trying to do it is just wasting their times.